Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of Yakshas. And I think we're going to cut in right now with something funny. Indiana,
Oh no.
you wake up feeling miserable. You have not felt this sick, possibly in your entire life. Every breath stings. It feels like 1,000 needles are in every piece of your lung. There's a rusted taste of copper in your mouth. You kind of feel at your dry lips and you can feel dried blood.
Hold on,
And
my
as
audio just cut out. Uh, say that again.
you feel at
Nope. All right,
your
one sec. Uh,
technical difficulties. I didn't even get to the sticky part.
there we go. All right, I can hear you again.
Okay, so you feel at your lips. They're dry. You can feel the dried blood on your lips. And as you start to slowly regain consciousness and sit up, you're sticky. And not like I've been sweating sticky. That's your first thought, probably. But then you're like,
Mhm.
this is advanced stick.
This isn't
And
just any darkness.
maybe you lick at your lips and they're drying you. Is that mint chocolate?
Where am I?
You sit up fully and you recognize that you are in the sleeper cabin of Max. You look towards the door and it's sealed. The airlock between the cockpit and the sleeper cabin is sealed.
Oh.
But Mur is in there with you.
Somebody has some explaining to do.
And has his helmet on. And is like, which part? The drifting in and out of consciousness part or the ice cream part?
Who decided? It was Min, wasn't it? No one else would be dumb enough to waste their ice cream. She's just like, my suit is sticking to.
It's already a skin tight suit,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gunky on the inside. Because Mur couldn't wipe that off.
Right.
So you've got chocolate chips where the sun don't shine. But Mur just chuckles, is like, I tried to tell her to just like wet a towel or something and put it on your forehead and let the fever run its course, but she decided to dump a whole bunch of ice cream on you. That would cool you down.
You know, I thought I wanted to know. I've changed my mind. Take it all back.
I mean, and he stands up and kind of walks around the sleeper cabin. Everyone's already joking that this isn't the first time you've woken up Sticky and Max, so.
Oh, so I don't. I don't even get to make that joke, huh?
Nah, they kind of beat you to it. I'm glad your sense of humor's still around.
Feels like it's the only thing that's still around. All right, she says, trying to pull herself up. You got your suit on, how bad?
Bad enough that I advised Min to keep the hermetic seal up on this until we could get it cleaned.
So I'm stuck in here?
You and I can leave. We've only been in here long enough, and our suits shouldn't hold any of the xenorite, but the problem is what's in the air.
Okay, Mar. I am not getting back in Little Red until I get this suit off and I get clean. So you can
Ugh.
leave for a moment. She probably goes, or she probably knows where like clean wipes are.
Tactical
Just
withdrawal.
Yeah, the
right,
tactical wet ones.
right, and it's so. Am I infectious yet?
You're not having any extrusions, but there has been some damage to your lungs, and you were coughing up xenorite-infested blood.
She's trying to find a way to make light of the situation. It's kind of
And
hard though, considering the last person that was coughing up blood on the crew was, Frank.
Frank.
That seems a little not apropos, I
And
suppose.
he's trying very much to keep the doctor mode on. It's like it's difficult to track the progression of the infection. It's different for every person. It depends how much the initial exposure was, how you were exposed to it.
I know. Look, I know you're a doctor, but right now I just need a friend.
Someone who knows exactly what you're going through.
Yes.
And I don't want to make this worse, Indiana, but it worries me.
For a moment, uh, well, she doesn't have her helmet on, right?
Probably not.
So you can see, just the expression on her face kind of melts into something that Murr would have seen with Frank, especially towards the end. It's a tired, worn down, just struggling to stay together look of just exhaustion, pure exhaustion. It worries me too.
And Murr probably, if you're still on the bed, he sits down next to you and is like, but I know what you're going through, even if it's going a lot faster than I thought it would. But that just gives us all the more reason to get this stuff taken care of and hope that Sin's actually got something.
Oh shit.
I guess I've got the genes for it, huh? With a bitter laugh.
Well, right now you're more in suit, but
Hmm.
I'd actually advise against wearing jeans or anything very constricting, especially if you start getting the extrusions. That'll just, you know what, never mind.
Right, like a skin tight suit.
Just get some padding. The problem is you don't want it rubbing against those open wounds.
Yeah, you could just
I'm
hit up.
just teasing.
You could hit up the Hulk. He has apparently clothing that can stretch to strange sizes.
Oh yeah, then I'd be then it would actually be Neon Genesis Evangelion. So, she'll say, I made the mistake of watching Generation Kill last week.
Uh-huh.
The person in command of this Marine unit talks with a raspy voice, and the person we're following, the war reporter, asks him, "Oh, why do you talk like that?" He says, "Throat cancer." "Oh, I'm sorry. Do you smoke?" "No. I guess I'm just goddamn lucky."
He
how I feel
gives
right now.
a morose chuckle at that as well. You and me both. But we managed to. Some of those spider drone things came in the night, but we handled them. Little Red's
Huh.
fine. She got knocked
Good.
over, but she's fine.
At that, she goes, well, in that case, out. Get out. I need to clean. And then
Yeah.
I need to pick up Red.
She got knocked over by a flailing man.
No, she got knocked over by one of the drones.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm going with
wonders-
flailing men.
That would be funny, though. Dong!
God.
But,
Yep. She will take the time to, well, I mean, she can't get the Xenorite out of the air. But she
can
can
get the
Not with
ice
that
cream.
attitude.
she can get the ice cream out of the suit and off the floor, I'm assuming.
And the bed, and your hair.
Oh, it's in her hair.
Gonna have to use a lot of wet wipes for that.
Well, she
That's
can't
one of
even...
those. You would want to be like in water, and you're like, oh, there's probably a stream around here. Fuck, but it's all irradiated.
Well, and that's where it's... She cleans up the floor of ice cream and blood as best she can. And then she goes digging through more cabinets. Forgive me, men, for what I must do. She finds the water bottles.
You
She
use the
starts
water bottle to
cleaning her
clean your
hair.
hair.
Oh, absolutely. And then, of course, afterwards, she finds paper towels or whatever she's got here to, clean all of the
Clean that
water off
up.
the floor. Right. But no.
Yeah.
Then she'll step out of the back seat. Step out
And
of Max.
you-
Go ahead.
You probably see Min wiping down these consoles, still going, like cleaning off her
She's-
fingers.
Because Amy isn't here, Indiana will just look.
I'm kind of busy
Will
right
sh-
now.
No, just watch. She'll just shake her head, grab her helmet, put it
Vigorously
on,
wiping
and
down the consoles.
you know what she probably has to do? She probably puts Min's helmet on for her. She's like, I'm getting out. And then,
Yeah.
and then, exits Max. What's the carnage look like?
Well, if these were people, it'd be like a
war
late.
crime?
Well,
I was gonna say like a late Friday the 13th.
there's a pile of electrocuted spider bots over by the tree.
Electrocuted,
These two are in piece. These two are in pieces. There's one that fell through the roof of this building, and it looks like Swiss cheese. This one looks
Yeah.
like Swiss cheese. This one looks like Swiss cheese.
Oh yeah, there's I guess the turrets are probably away. I was like, there was 3 turrets sitting out. 2
Well,
banana and
they-
wait, no.
they all look like palm trees.
It was
The two palm tree turrets, and then there's an ice
Murr.
out drone.
Well, no, it was Murr using his double machine guns. That's why I thought he was a turret, but no, he's just. Wasn't it Murr that was like just
No, that was Vazago,
Vazago? Okay.
who
Not
you see is just stabilizing Midnight Dreary, getting the power core back in place after it had to shunt because it was overheating.
Indiana will hop down off of Max. Probably not using the hand and preferring to climb down by hand.
And fortunately for you, Little Red landed on its back.
Oh, good. Otherwise, I'd have to ask Min to stop what she was doing to help me. And probably overcomes. Hello, everyone. How's combat?
I mean, we all lived.
What am I, chopped liver?
It went as well as it could have. He takes and inhales a cigarette from inside his cabin.
Looks like you didn't need my help. That's good.
Well,
they-
and as I kicked the drone that landed next to me and was trying to like rip me apart. Almost. Almost.
Don't touch them. We already figured out that apparently they're covered in like a virus.
I'm sorry, what?
Their claws can apparently impart a computer virus.
I'm sorry. What I thought, she says, going over to Little Red as she's doing this. What I thought. All right, what I thought I heard you say was that these mechanical objects have found a way to introduce a software bug in a biological manner. That's not what I heard you say.
And it's probably actually Set that comes over the comms and is like, it's actually not too difficult. You see, if we were able to get to the subatomic structure of their claws, you would see that there are small electrodes that allow for the implantation of computational code directly into a mech's wiring.
You know,
Basically, it just has to break the skin, in a manner of speaking.
I already said I didn't want to know. Take it,
Well, now you
take it all
do.
back. I didn't want to know.
That's not how knowledge works.
Actually, I watched the movie once where they can erase your memories, so I'm assuming you, being all-knowing AI, can just create software that removes my memories, yes?
Theoretically, but I could also just have someone use a baseball bat.
Well, that's actually like bringing a bat to a scalpel fight. I mean,
You'll win.
or lose.
Well,
It depends on the
kinda got a point.
criteria.
Well, you know what? I don't.
And just to you, Sin, Joe says, yet when I speak of hitting people, it is wrong.
Yeah, well, they're talking in the terms of combat, bringing a baseball bat to a scalpel fight. Now, if you wanted to talk about hitting things in combat like these robots, yeah, you go right ahead. But hitting people outside of combat, especially when they've done nothing at the time to hurt you, just ain't right.
Glad to see you're imparting morality in our second newest ally.
I find
think
it
that was-
strange that it is acceptable to destroy mechanical children, yet unacceptable to do so with
I'm sorry, did you say children?
organics.
Well, I think this is private.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Now, if I'm not saying if a bunch of children with blades for arms screaming and running at me trying to slice me up, we're not going to
How many
get killed by my
kindergartners
gun.
can you take one-on-one?
If
Throw in a
bunch-
fifth grader every 10 or 20 like a boss.
Like if a bunch of little
Sub-boss.
Chuckies were running at me with knives and screaming and trying to cut me to pieces, I'd probably be shooting back too. It doesn't have to do with the fact that they're robots. It has to do with the fact that they were going to rip us apart and completely destroy us, from including yourself, because they would have, implanted a virus in you and broken you back down. Ultimately, it was self-defense.
I will accept this for now.
How did Little Red fare?
Little Red's, other than getting knocked down, Little Red's fine. A little dirty
Yeah, it was
hitting
an
the
AoE
ground,
effect.
but it's fine. There was no damage done.
They jump and
Okay.
land next to us, and it knocks everything down around them.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Well, if you have to make
Judge.
a check.
Judge.
Yeah. Or
I
you
think
could
that's
just
not
be
fair.
Max and you can't be knocked down.
You look down at the spider that just tried to knock you down, and
You know-
step on it.
I'm getting construct vibes from Max as of late. Man, that would really suck if you could breathe.
If you could breathe, if you had blood.
Man, that'd
Oh,
really
man, if you had
suck if you
blood.
could get knocked over.
Oh man, that'd really suck if something could push you.
Right.
Oh man, that'd really. Although you do see a lot of holes in the ground where shotgun misses at point blank range happened. You assume because there's ice cream all over the controls.
Ah. Yes, I see.
Not a NA aim.
Mm-hmm. As she's getting back, she's probably upwriting Little Red. She'll say, "And how is our newest member doing?"
Just get the tap back of very warm. As you see that the plates closest to where the core opens up to shunt heat are still glowing hot.
I see that.
Hey, maybe we can get the Dairy Queen and put some ice cream on your Mac.
I think she used all of her ice cream.
What?
I almost,
And then
I almost feel honored in a way.
you get the click back of what a marvel of medicine.
You know, it concerns me that we're related.
Who, you and Min?
Exactly. I at least would have put the ice cream in the Ziploc bags first.
Maybe you can use that as a claim to say you're the smart one, and then she can hit you in the face.
That's why I only make that claim when I'm safely away from her.
Max turns to look at you. Racks shotgun.
With malicious intent.
No, I'm
There
gonna
is only
speak for Amy
malicious
here.
intent.
Max spins around, smacks my mech down on the ground with her shotgun, and then over the
Yeah.
comms like, "Oops, sorry, ice cream was stuck."
Oh, yeah, dang, ice cream. Oh,
Bitch.
What bitch?
she
Oh,
totally
dang,
slips
bitch.
in a. Oh man, maybe if you weren't such a bitch. But yes, it is. After combat and the time you guys took to stabilize and reassess everything, it's probably about half an hour after daybreak. There's still a haze of dew everywhere, and it's still bitterly cold. But you're not too far from Duca. A couple hours, you assume, with the circuitous routes you've had to take.
Well, my blood and lungs are trying to kill me, so let's get this over with.
Yeah,
I mean, technically, it's the space rock.
I mean, you shut up.
Does she mimic him?
Is that Myrrh?
Yeah, that's Myrrh.
Okay, then yes, it's
She
taking you. Shut up,
Don't-
Myrrh.
He goes, don't do that to your doctor. That's the last
What are
thing
you
you
going-
do is me, your doctor.
What are you going to do? Put a DNR on my sheet?
Maybe. Oh no, I accidentally paddled her without doing chest compressions. Whoops.
You like me too much.
You're too useful.
Am I? That's a
Now I'm
first.
starting- well, now I'm starting to sound like the captain.
Always justification with you people. Can't you just say you like my winning smile?
Set comes over and is like, aesthetically speaking, your smile is on the lower end of this team.
Did I ask the robot's opinion?
You just hear comms cut out.
Thou Set, you can't say that.
No, Set, you make a great point, but sometimes people don't like it when you tell them the truth.
Now, my smile's the best, right? No. Now, see here, you little shit.
Let me
Let's
guess,
see
it's
your
Min,
shit.
isn't it?
I don't know.
You're just
I'd
whipped.
have to think about
Just-
that. Might be Howler, you don't know. Howler could have a winning smile.
I don't know,
Moving
Howler. Do you
on.
have a winning smile?
Maybe. I mean, didn't work on that kid in CGS, but
You didn't give him the opportunity.
that's true.
You just went, need your computer. Wham!
Yeah.
What? Beating up people for fun isn't legal?
What do you mean I can't access top secret files on the CVS register?
Okay. Yeah, now that you put it like that, yeah.
The good old days.
There's been one of those, I think, so far for everybody.
I was about to say Indiana hasn't. No, wait, never mind.
He's got a gun!
He's got a gun. Yeah.
Stop resisting!
Look out, he's got a nose!
Oh, God. Indiana killed someone with military police by shouting he's got a gun. And this was just to find information to blackmail Howler for sending fetish wear to Mandy.
It wasn't blackmail. It was. Okay, it was blackmail. Shut up.
Did you ever fess up to that?
No.
Oh, yeah, I think the only person who knows is Gop that was like, Jesus Christ, lady. What the fuck?
I don't know what the problem is.
Let me move us back over here. So anyway,
No.
we moved back. So anyways, as I was saying,
right.
You follow another winding route through the forest, and probably about 8:30 in the morning, you guys finally stumble upon the Duga array. You've been able to see it for a long time. It is massive. Like hundreds of feet tall, hundreds of feet wide. This massive array of radar antennas set up in a constant line, all attached to these standoff platforms and this scaffolding. But you see, people were meant to climb up there to maintain them. But as you're approaching, you do find a small road. It hasn't been maintained in a while, and it was only a dirt road to begin with, but eventually moves into a paved area. There's a small guard post you come across, and you see the three kind of sectioned off parts. One seems to be an administrative area with three large buildings. One seems like it would have been something for military. You see a bunch of run-down, collapsing barracks, as well as these dugout motor pools that are made of these earthworks to make them harder to see from the air. And you see what appears to be the Duger Array's power plant facility. It's electric grid.
It's electric. Woogie, 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 woogie.
I wasn't thinking that.
Where do you guys go first? Or do you proceed directly to the array?
Gawaduga.
I was gonna say, did we get any information on where the group was last?
No, just that they were here. They would have to be somewhere in this vicinity.
Okay, we don't have a map. What are our so there's the Duga array itself.
There's an administrative zone,
Mm-hmm.
a military zone, you could call it, and then there's the power plant. Something you do notice is there's a lot of those dead zombies, as Sin's been calling them. There's a lot of them.
Okay, so administration is where we're most likely to find information, and consequently, people looking for information. But the military zone probably has, well, more secrets. Or we could go take pictures next to the elephant's foot.
I like that one.
in the power plant.
You guys
Okay.
we're not anywhere near Chernobyl. I don't think every power plant Oh, that was a joke. I say we go to the administrative zone.
It only took you how long to figure that out?
I've just been in a fight with computer virus spider robots. Don't at me.
Have you ever fought your own lungs before in the back of Min's mech covered in ice cream?
Not in the
Says
back of
Little
Min.
Red looking up at Max.
Not in the back of not in the back of Min's mech covered in ice cream. I've been dealing with it for a lot longer, Missy.
How long has he been dealing with it?
As far as he can remember.
And he's what, 19?
19.
And it's kind of like,
So he's had it for around 14, 15 years at least.
and that's where Indiana's had it for
A little over a year.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember how long I was on the run before meeting the person who would destroy Sala for the first time.
Howler.
I didn't destroy her. I just stepped on her a little.
Is that?
She didn't even ask.
I mean, never mind. Howler has displayed that he's into some extra things.
Extracurriculars.
Extracurricular activities. Yes.
What the?
Surgery.
No. Howler's not really into surgery.
But yes. Let me find.
No. So, admin, huh? We have one vote for admin, one vote for pictures.
Are all the zine bees that we can see alive and wandering around, or
Oh no, they're dead.
piles of any dead ones?
The zine bees are all dead. As far. Good job. The beetles are all dead.
Any concentration of them leading in a certain direction?
There does seem to be quite a few of them in each zone, but a lot of them seem to be. Also, let's see if this picture works. There's kind of what it looks like as you're entering the guard post you're at. But there do seem to be quite a few of them at the administrative area.
Administrative it is. It seems to have the most activity.
Joy.
They've also been dead for a while. Several months.
When did they send the first team?
Several months ago is when they lost contact.
Bingo.
So we're gonna find like a zombified team over there?
They're not zombies.
Howler, back me up here. These are zombies, right?
They're not zombies. Look, just don't call them zombies. Call them something.
Brown nose.
How about slivers?
We are not calling them after that stupid ass deck.
You play Eldrazi, shut up.
No, I play it. Sin does not play Eldrazi.
Sin
plays
be
mono
violently
red.
opposed.
Sin plays mono red goblin.
It's hard, yeah.
Mono red goblin. It's not meta, but it's fun. How many times has he gotten this close to winning a game only to blow himself up on accident?
Oh, probably multiple.
Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah.
should probably
you guys...
yeah.
Oh,
Go to
sorry.
the admin building. Sorry.
Yep.
as you do approach, you notice there are 3 buildings. One seems to be more of a governmental building, one clerical, and one archival. The governmental building is the most imposing and grand of them. It's a large, big, dark gray, 2-winged building. It seems to have 4 floors, covered in repurposed Soviet iconography. Something you would all know is, even though the Soviet Union was technically dissolved after World War III, the Russians had a habit of not letting it go. Especially as time went on and the Cold War dragged on, they kept pushing what they could get away with, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So you have the big red star with 2 hands, one holding a hammer and one a sickle.
This is like walking into a movie.
And the clerical building, it seems to be just your standard comm block style building, very big, boxy. It's about twice the overall size of the government building, but it's much shorter and wider.
Hmm.
Well, the archival building is just 1 floor that you can see and seems to be the smallest, but it does say on it in Russian, archives.
Okay. Hey, someone can read Russian. Perfect. It's me.
Yeah.
All right, it's going to be this way. It's too big to fit our max in, isn't it? Too small.
Even with a half-size mech, it would be a bit clunky getting around inside the buildings.
All right, looks like we get to dismount.
Oh boy.
Fuck me.
Keep close, folks.
I'm
What if
gonna
I don't
hate
want to?
this.
Max Min will be like, it's totally not, because I'm like still cleaning my consoles or anything, but I'll provide Overwatch. How's that sound? That sound great? Okay.
That's fine.
Maybe you're just compensating. You don't feel
Bitch,
safe
you
outside of
are
that
out of
big, strong.
I'm turning
mech.
this off. You hear as she turns comms off. But
I bet she's just put herself on mute. Say out loud on open channels.
you do see people dismounting, like Vozigo hops out, rifle in hand, does a sweep before he hops off. Mur with his SMG, just kind of slung over his shoulder. He's like, I don't see anything, but they could be in the building, I guess.
Only one way to find out, yes?
So, are we splitting up? Are we picking one building?
I don't know. Splitting up's always a bad idea.
Like, Scoob, we should split up.
You're splitting up's a bad idea, and then Vozigo mimes in zombie movies.
In zombie movies. Are you saying we're not in a zombie movie right now?
Shrugs.
Who knows? This could all be a game. You could be a figment of somebody's imagination right now, and you'd never know.
He looks at the 4th wall and says, cut it out.
Does he say that or does he sign it?
Well, exactly. He said it, because it's the 4th wall. Now stop!
So are you
But,
saying you want us to split up?
No, that's up
Yeah.
to you guys. It's whatever you feel is the way you want to approach this.
I still feel like that's a bad idea. Anybody feel like that's a bad idea?
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks like somebody is overruled. So
Where do you want to go then?
just into the admin building, I'm assuming, because we're
Into
right
the
in front of it.
The governmental building.
Yes.
Yeah.
The big fancy one. And when you do walk
That's
in,
right.
the lobby is a nice linoleum. And it's in mostly pristine condition, though it does seem, looking at the main desk, that people left in a hurry.
Interesting.
And you see there is a calendar behind where the secretary would sit, and it says April 1986.
This place has been out of commish for a minute.
A few windows have been broken, and it does seem you're going to have some intrigued animals breaking in, finding shelter, things like that, but it's relatively untouched from what you could see. There's 2 staircases that go up to the upper floors of either wing. There is a ground floor as well. It appears that down here on this floor would be meeting rooms, and it seems like higher officers would have their offices on these upper floors.
Okay. So, do we see any signs of any activity recent?
You
Footprints in the dust?
You do find footprints, and they seem to be keeping mostly single file, but you don't see any bodies.
Well, that's a good sign. Means they're not here. Let's skip this one on to the next. I mean, what? No. Anything of interest in the secretary's desk?
You open it up, and it does seem like someone had just sat down for work and was made to leave.
Follow up. Is there power to the building, or is it everything?
Yes,
Oh, that's weird.
there is power.
Okay.
Well, you assume that, considering the Duga array has been online, that the rest of the grid would have to be on too.
Fair.
Yep.
Well,
I
it's
wasn't
just
sure if it had its own
it's
power
just
supply or not.
right, and it's just like, oh, 60-year-old light bulbs still working.
Not great, and not all of them, but a surprising number do seem to work. But how much do you guys surveil this building?
Well, it's up to the second floor, yeah.
We're mainly here. just to
There's
look
multiple
for-
upper floors. It has 4 floors in total.
We're mainly here just to look for the other crew, right?
The crew.
That's what we were asked. Sorry, go ahead.
What else brought them here? And something you have noticed on every shortwave radio band as you got up to Duga, it has been repeating that same message you got over and over and over, the numbers. Which I could play again for you guys if you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, play it again.
Yep.
Oh, right. Where is it?
Fix it again, Tony.
60, 54, 06.96, 101, 55, 44.94.
And then it loops and loops and loops.
And did we determine those are coordinates?
If they are coordinates, they point to an area of northern Siberia called Tunguska.
Interesting.
And some of you did do some looking, and Tunguska was the site of, before Shiva, the largest meteor impact in the modern era. The largest meteor impact since the K2 incident.
Interesting.
Yay!
But as you explore these upper floors are kind of lavish. They are carpeted in the hallways with a nice deep red with yellow accents. And these offices have wood flooring, wooden furniture, nice upholstered chairs, bookshelves, everything you could want in an office. Definitely not sticking to that austere pseudo-communist lifestyle. But a lot of them are in disarray. And you do find in one of them what seems to be like a recorder of some kind had been left running. Like someone had hit start and then left. So obviously that tape's been full for a while.
Right.
Because it is a cassette player.
Does it still work?
Do you
Can
try it?
play? Yeah, we'll see if the tape will play.
You start it up, and it is working. The first couple minutes are just boring, like, daily notes. You know, these many people here, this here, here's our power output, here's what we've gotten on the radars, blah, blah, blah. And then someone comes busting through the door and is like, "Comrade, what are you doing here? We need to leave now." Leave? For what purpose? A message just came in from Moscow. We are to evacuate this entire area. They've already evacuated Pripyat. For what purpose? Have you not seen the fire? It's been going on since yesterday. They told me everything was fine. It's just small amounts of radiations. What's that measurement? 3 Rautons. And there's a distressed laugh before he goes, 3? It's 15,000 Rautons. That is twice the nuclear output of Hiroshima. Every hour. We just can't leave. We're supposed to stay here and maintain the... I'm leaving now, and I'm taking everyone who wants to go with me. I'm not staying here to see another 48 Hiroshimas. If it was so bad, then we would have noticed. We won't notice for days, weeks. We've already been smoking 5 packs a day, equivalent in carcinogens, just by sitting here talking. I don't care what the bureau says. I'm leaving. And I suggest that you do too, comrade. And that's where it ends.
What's my Geiger counter say now?
In this particular area, you are being dosed. You're not in a bad patch, but the radiation here is greater than what would be normal.
Sure. Well, it's not as bad as it could have been.
Well, everybody keep an eye on the rads as we move around here.
Only a little concerning.
Yeah, because 1 Rauton is 1 rad, so 3 rads versus 15,000 is a huge difference.
What are you talking about? That's nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, you know how many we get in Jersey? Actually, I don't know. They don't tell me. They turned the Geiger counters off last week in the subway.
Well, most handheld Geiger counters stop at 3 Rauton. That's why the official number was 3. And then
3.
someone went in with a military grade one. Those go up to 200. And it maxed
it
out at
pegged.
200.
And then they said, hey, maybe we should figure out what this actually is. Or if I don't measure it, I won't know, right?
Pretty much. And you see signs of similar stuff. People were going throughout their days, small snippets, people trying to math things out on paper. You see a map of Europe, and everything east of Germany is red.
Do I know what this is?
This
is
is a
projected fallout?
This is projected fallout if if the other pieces of the reactor exploded like they thought they were going to. And it says 4 megaton explosion, 60 million dead in Ukraine and Belarus alone. And then within the red, there's an area circled, which is most of Ukraine, Belarus, Latvia, Estonia, up to East Germany. And it's has uninhabitable 100 years minimum.
Well, look upon it. This is hubris manifest.
Seems more like panic manifest if, what they thought
No,
was
no,
going to
no,
happen
not
didn't.
not the event. Everything leading up to it. Think about it. A few haughty souls made the largest mistake of their lives, and tens of thousands of people paid for it in one way or another.
And you do
Go ahead, sorry.
one last thing you find in the main office of who must have been in charge of this, a lavish one that takes up most of the top floor. You find a note that comes from the Politburo. And it says, there is nothing in Pripyat. There is nothing in Chernobyl. Deny everything.
See? You know, my parents did not talk much about what kind of life they had come from. But with this, well, sitting before us, I understand. There's no pride here, only shame.
Well, we saw a little bit of that with the rebels, I guess, but
They're
it's
not
hard to
ashamed.
believe. It was hard to believe that. I mean, before Shiva, this probably would have been one of the worst things to ever happen.
Yes. It's... I don't know if humbling is the right word. Maybe a warning is better.
They were frightened of 60 million dead. Over 1 billion died in the first year after Shiva.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not meaning to bring the mood down, guys. I don't like it here. It's got a bad vibe to it.
Yeah, let's
Yeah, more importantly, it does not have the people we're looking for.
There is a large
Mo-
safe in the upper office, though.
Ooh.
radiated money.
No, pre-war money.
Pre-war money. Ah,
You
I
mean
And a
could use
pipe
toilet
all that
pistol.
paper?
paper. I could use all of that paper to make stuff in my settlement.
And a pipe pistol.
Oh yeah,
Because-
and a pipe pistol and jet. Ugh.
Right. Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, let's be honest. There's a pipe pistol in there. Oh, of course, there's going to be jet in there. Why? Because what's fucking realism? What's accuracy?
This is why leveled loot containers can be a bad idea.
Yep. But
But you do actually think whatever was in there might still be in good condition, because this is
a lead
nice,
line safe.
nice, thick, lead lined. The rest is made out of black steel. And one of the most important things in radiation is, they say, more mass in the pass. The
So,
more crap there is between you and the radiation of anything, the better.
is it locked?
It is locked. It has a turn combination.
A dial.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So,
Unless you're a
Thank
safe
you.
cracker, we'll need some explosives.
I was looking.
Fosco does kind of point his rifle at the hinge to the door, kind of like
Is that the
could
good
try
idea?
that. Shrugs.
Would high power mag clamps work well on it?
To just rip the pins out of it?
I would need a check of some kind, but that is an idea.
Well, I
Okay,
do
what-
have.
Hacker fix?
I was like, I've got hacker fix with a +6. I can do invent create if you want me to like come up with something.
Yeah, do that. MacGyver me something. Thinking quickly, Sin creates a megaphone out of nothing more than a piece of string, a squirrel, and a megaphone.
Will this roll over? Oh wait, yeah, that's right. It uploads. Ramblers. I was like, how do I roll it from ComCon? I was on like the wrong mindset there.
Mhm.
Let's see. Absolutely nothing. It is an old safe, not one I'm used to dealing with.
That's still a basic success.
Okay, I'll take it.
I'll say that you think of something, you do eventually figure out that one of the best ways, if you don't want to go hunting around potentially trying to find something that would, trying to do the fucking quest to find the,
Where is the key? It's on the other side of the compound, and then you activate all of the security to get back here.
yeah, if you didn't want to do that and you just wanted to brute force it, one of the best ways would be to pull the pins out of the door. And your mag clamps would work, but it would take time because they're not meant for something as small and as tightly set as these bolts, these pins. So you could do it. It would just take time.
I'll let everyone know, like, we could break through this, but it's going to take some time.
All right. That's fine by me. Maybe it is a good idea to split up then. We
You are
can.
not leaving me in this dark room alone. Someone is staying with me.
No, not alone. We leave someone behind, but they catch up as we go and explore somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Did we leave Vazago?
Fosgo nods and motions. I'm used to guarding people who are too focused on other things.
I'm telling Zeminiar you said that.
Do it. He knows.
Don't know if I should feel offended.
Why? You're being compared to a war criminal. I mean,
He stops, puts the rifle down so you use both hands, and first goes,
First of all,
and then goes, points to all of you, and then just lets that say it enough before he picks the rifle back up as, you're all war criminals.
Right, but I'm a U.S. government-sanctioned war criminal.
That's a thing.
That's worse.
Technically,
Actually,
isn't Vasco
I'm
now?
technically, I'm a gray-sanctioned war criminal. So,
The Fosco does stop and think about that, and then kind of is like,
fair point.
now I'm a government-sanctioned war criminal.
Yep.
But
But it's okay. We're OG.
he just sits on a windowsill so he can watch Sin open this, but has clear view of the door.
Which
So-
section do you think we should go to next?
Well, I'm saving the creepy Duga array for last. So,
So
military?
the military. You guys know where to find us. If you open this up and it's emptier than Al Capone's vault.
Oh, and something else I did forget to mention is in the bottom floor, in the conference rooms, they still have their those old slideshow projectors where you have to put in the small slides. They still have those with the slides, and all of them seem to come from cases that say where to return them in the archival building.
Cool.
Might be useful.
Yeah. Do we have time to look at them now, or should we keep them for later?
Well, if you guys grab those, then we can all meet up as we exit the building and go to the military place together.
Sure. Do we have a projector to look at them right now?
Yes.
Let's just do a quick look, a little look-see. What we got?
Ironically, the first one you see is Pork Island. The
Orc
first
Island.
slide is the island that
You wouldn't
was
know
the
it.
site
It
of
blew
the
up.
first war crime.
It blew up. You
The
wouldn't know
OG
that.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oops.
I was gonna say that's not my fault. That was most certainly not my fault.
But it seems to be the first
All of my war
part of it.
crimes were inside. Sorry, continue.
The first part is an aerial view of the island. Then there's a topographical map. Then it shows where they're putting the base, things like that.
Hmm.
Another one of them, it has a bunch of stuff concerning Arctic and Siberian research outposts.
I've got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Was Pork Island a Russian base? I thought it was a.
It was EU, and in this, Russia was part
Yeah.
of the EU.
Oh, that's right.
Ostensibly.
Right.
It's one of those. Well, that's why the Russians made Nicholas and Alexandria for the Europeans.
Right.
That's why they're named after the last Tsar and Tsarina.
Hmm. I see.
But
Boy, something's fishy here.
yes, you do see in the other conference room, it's all about remote research outposts in the Arctic in the Arctic Circle around the North Pole kind of area. And a lot of them in northern Siberia, eastern Siberia. And for
Okay.
each of them, it has a note on that says, for research results, find slides, blah, blah, blah. And then it has an archival note of where you would find them in the archives for each station's research notes.
Great.
Including a research station in Tunguska.
I smell a rat.
Oh, sorry.
I smell a long trip to Tunguska.
But I don't want to go to Tunguska.
That is a hell of a long trip.
Tengusi.
Stop that.
Well, you know what I gotta do now.
Oh shit! It broke. It broke. Everything's broke.
I-
Put it back. Everything's
I-
broke.
I force disconnected him for that bad joke.
I f-
Broke stream.
I
Terrible.
was gonna say everything broke. Put him back.
It
I
was
like,
worth
I
it.
wonder how long I could stay disconnected.
It's
Don't
worth
do
it
that.
for the bit.
I have stream up, so like I could have just kept listening.
Yeah, delayed.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, there is that. And then if you guys are going to go to the archival building,
Yeah.
Yep.
you notice some when you cross the parking lot, which there are some cars that have been sitting out here. Have you ever known what high amounts of radiation does to consumer grade metals?
How do you polish rust? Sorry.
And the floors!
I love.
Poor Cogsworth.
I know.
My favorite
there were
companion.
there were many not good things about Fallout 4, but there were also many good things.
Yes, Cogsworth was one of the good things.
If I could feel emotion, I would feel most terrible about that, sir. But, yeah, these cars are rotting. They are rusting through, and they've been sitting in place for so long that the rubber and the radiation has caused the rubber of the tires to melt and rot.
Delicious.
Yum, yum, yum.
Yum yum yum.
Stick your
Could you
hand
be
out and
ordering-
touch it.
Could you be ordering a number 2 with a Diet Coke?
Yum, yum, yum.
So,
And
yeah.
the closer you get to some of the vehicles, your Geiger counters do start clicking. Especially one of them, is a military vehicle. And it starts getting wild. It goes from a click every now and then to nonstop clicking.
Oh, great.
And observing from a distance, nothing
Yeah.
seems like it should be doing that until you notice there's a bunch of clothes in the back.
Oh. Like what kind of clothes?
Did
Military uniforms, firefighter uniforms.
Did
did we finish up the safe, by the way?
I will get back to you in just a little bit. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
But-
did we go over the pictures?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Those were the Pork Island, and then there was one that was all about
Yes.
their scattered research bases.
Sorry, it's Friday. My brain is fried.
Your brain is Friday.
Yep.
But
I can force DCU.
Ooh, woo.
but you can assume that's probably what the radiation is, but it's been 50 years and they're still that dangerous. There were spots that Vosgo had you guys go around that weren't that radioactive.
Lovely.
Murr kind of just looks at us like, imagine what that did to have it on your skin.
I don't want to think about it.
No, I'm not.
I'm
going
trying not to
about it.
think about.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I said I'm not going to think about it.
Fair.
I'd
Sorry,
rather not
maybe.
think about what's happening in my skin right now.
Guess it's just the Dr. Morbid part coming out. At least they
didn't
got it
know
off
your-
them.
I didn't know your last name was Morbid.
He just sighs, shakes his head.
Dr. Morbid sounds like a late night horror movie host.
Yeah, that's That or like a really bad 1950s sci-fi villain.
It is I,
Dr.
Dr. Morbid!
Morbid! And now
Actually-
you shall face the force of
Played
all
by
things
Vincent Price.
morbid.
Actually, no. This is what it would sound like.
Hello, it's me, Dr. Morbid.
That's fair.
If you're curious about what I sound like, Richard Nixon, it's because I am Richard M. Nixon.
So you're a crook?
Crooked like a shepherd's cane.
That's not the line!
It's always the line.
But yeah, you guys continue, and as you make your way into the archival building, you realize why it was the smallest of the three. It's all underground.
Interesting.
And you also notice there's a lot of bodies.
Oh, new, old?
Couple months old.
Ooh. That's no bueno.
I think we might have found which way they went.
Do you think?
And all of your suits do the warning. Biological hazard detected. For
Yes, it's...
xenorite in the air.
Oh, I'm sorry, I burped.
For all of those spikes they had growing out of them breaking when they died.
Lovely.
Now, we will cut back to Safe Team 6. And ladies
Neil
and gentlemen,
Team 6?
you got him. You got the safe. So you managed to finally yank out the last pin. There's a ting crong. There's just the front face of it slams to the floor, then falls forward, sending up a bunch of dust that had been in the carpet. 50 years worth of radioactive dust in the carpet.
Ooh.
And you look inside, and you find, check the loot table, pre-war money, a pipe pistol, and some mentats.
Mentats?
No, what you do find is a lot of some war memorabilia. Seems that this person fought in World War III, has all sorts of medals, including a hero of the Soviet Union, the highest honor, as well as
Yes.
dossiers on high-level people here at the Duga Array, as well as clandestine mission profiles.
Well, now this is what I was talking about.
Because they say on all this that the ostensible main purpose of Duga is an over-the-horizon radar scanner, which is true. It can detect things out past well into the Atlantic Ocean, sometimes to the East Coast on a good day. Granted, that causes the problem of it interferes with a lot of shortwave radios all across Europe. They're going to get the woodpecker sound from the radar pinging. In fact, you do find thousands of complaint notes in every language on the continent that are basically saying, I can't transmit shit over the radio because this stupid fucking thing keeps clicking.
Get good.
That's pretty, and yeah, he has a pre-written response back that's pretty much, oh man, sorry about that. Not going to do anything though.
I was gonna say, get good, bitch.
Good scrub.
It has also been used as a number station to transmit secret orders to agents in the field, as well as a
Okay.
radio monitor
Hmm.
and a radio interference system. Sometimes they will intentionally interfere with radios if they think that someone is in an area doing shit they shouldn't.
Does any
They'll
of this by
start pinging.
chance have like a translation of the latest number order that was given out, the one that's been repeating?
Ooh.
You find that number not in any of the mission statements. You find it in the dossier of a biologist that had been recently transferred here. But it says that this doctor was only going to be here for a short time. In fact, he would have probably left before the Chernobyl incident. Because all of these, the incident was on the morning, very early in the morning on April 26th. Everything you've seen says that the day that this place was abandoned was April 27th. But he would have been gone about a month beforehand. But what's important is it does say that he was assigned to blacked out the name of the station, but the coordinates are there. And that he was here to review archived research results. But they would not be in the archives. They'd be in something they called the think tank.
Is there a location for that given? Or we'd probably have to go to the archives for that.
You'd probably have to figure it out, but it seems like that's a code name for something here in the facility. Not necessarily this building, but the facility itself.
Okay.
You've stumbled on another secret.
Is Kyle Hill around? We're at the facility, so.
For a second, I thought that was a joke about, well, we need to find something. Let's just give Kyle some monster and he'll punch through all of the drywall and we'll find it.
Oh, no, the YouTuber, Kyle Hill.
Yep.
Welcome to the facility.
But we'll cut back to our archive people. You start your way down into the first level, and it's like a library with microfilm, microfiche. You say that you do hear things down there. Not everything.
Tell him to shut up down there.
You hear shuffling and incoherent mumbling, even a little bit of crying. But it's dark. All of the lights have been shot out. If you were looking for the stuff on Tunguska, it would be on the sub-basement level. And as you make your way down there, you notice something else. You start moving your way down there. And you hear a lot more breathing. And maybe you have a night vision or a light or something. There's a lot of people down here, of these infected. And they're in a state of rest. Haphazardly scattered around the place. Just laying down, sitting down. Some of them just kind of leaned up against the wall. Some of them shambling around. They don't know you're here.
Like Tomato Gaming? What is that game? I forget what it's called.
You
know
a lot of games things. There's a lot of games with things like
red light, green light.
Oh,
no, the game
GTFO?
Tomato Gaming.
GTFO?
Yes, GTF. That's what this fucking feels like.
Oh no.
So,
yeah, there are a lot of them who are just kind of doing that, where they're like, just sat in one spot.
So how many are a lot?
Dozens.
We should probably wait for. Well, first we should probably retreat to a safe distance. A distance it's actually no, we have comms on, so we. Yeah, we have comms on, so I think Inyo would say, at the very least, we need to wait for. Well, Vasago and Sin.
Try not to move. I think there's some in, like, right at the bottom of the stairs.
We should probably retreat to a safe distance.
They're more active
Yeah.
on the floor up, but let's just go very quietly.
One
I
stands
think-
up and his chest begins to glow. Everyone, stop moving.
But he's like, I think I know why they shut out all the lights.
Oh, really? Is it because there's a bunch of shit in here that will get very angry at lights? Imagine that.
Uh, They get mad at sound, but they also can't see in the dark.
Mm. That does not that does not offer me a ton of encouragement, but yes.
You all retreat, and pretty quickly,
Yeah.
Sin and Vazago, you make your way here. You're also like, damn, that car set off my radiation alarm. I don't want to touch it.
Um, Sin, there's a lot down there. A lot down there.
How much is a lot? Like, can we just shoot him?
There's at least 35.
A
Probably
facility's,
more.
an office building's worth, I guess.
There were several dozen on the sub-basement. That's not counting the ones on the basement floor.
There's probably hundreds of them throughout the entire building. I suggest we try and find a quiet way through.
You're asking me to be quiet?
Yes, I'm asking you, for once in your life, please be quiet.
Everyone says it once. Please be quiet. Because, sir, the archives are closed.
Stop that. You fucking stop that.
Maybe
Do you
we
relay
should
them the
just-
information you found, Sin?
Yes.
So now you guys know that there was a visiting biologist who had been recently assigned and was coming to study archived results from Tunguska.
What year?
He came in 1986.
The same year
But-
as
Yeah, as Chernobyl, but the results, it doesn't say. Like, it doesn't say what year the things he's looking at were.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So maybe we should send in stealthy people. You know, like Indiana and Vasago.
Ow.
I can go invisible.
Oh,
Exactly.
stealthy. I thought you said filthy, and then Murrah was like, what am I, chopped liver? Because you pointed out the two infected people. I was like, I'm infected too. And also, I don't think they're going to be like, ah, yes, brethren. I can smell the xenorite on you.
Brother, we are one and the same. Embrace me.
You've never heard anyone do that from the infection, but who knows? Sin did suggest that maybe xenorite is itself an organism. Maybe that's how it communicates, is through infection.
I'm
Ew.
smart.
Don't say shit like that. Ew.
It doesn't understand why we would get mad. That's just how it communicates.
Hey, you are
What's
you are not turning Xenorite into some poor misunderstood thing.
No, they only learned like 3 words in English, and it's humans all die. So it's trying to communicate that to us.
It wanted to help humanity. It just realized, in its logic, the best way was to end humanity.
Right.
But no, you two make your way downstairs, and Vozigo wasn't here the first time, but when he gets to the sub basement, even he stops, and you can see through the visor on his helmet. Even he's a little disturbed by this. Because these are people who are visibly racked in pain. That is why a lot of them are laying down and trying their best to not move. Do you have a skill for being stealthy, Indiana?
No, and I think it's gotten us into trouble in the past. Hold on.
Because Vozigo does have it. He has... Where is it?
Nope.
Act unseen or unheard.
Nope.
If you're willing, he will lead the way.
Let him lead the fucking way.
And I will give you 2 accuracy to your roll for following his path.
Okay, so I roll with grit, huh?
Yes.
Come on.
Woo!
Critical
Oh.
success. Thank fucking God.
Ah! Sorry.
You both critically succeeded.
God damn. I was gonna say I could recommend to Howler that we just lure all the zombies out of there. I'm gonna keep saying zombies.
Have you ever played Call of Duty Zombies? We're going to do what's called training.
We're just gonna make one of the cars explode. They'll all come running out, and we'll just mow them down in our mechs.
This is a much better option for me as the DM because it's tense.
Very.
I
The
didn't
two
say
of
we'd
you-
warn those two.
The 2 of you are making your way through here, and it is agonizingly slow work. Sometimes you can't move. You're waiting for one of them to shuffle by, or waiting for one to shift in how it's sitting to move its legs out of the way. And I say it because there is an eerie part of you that sees just how animal-like these people have become. It's very dehumanized. The infections made them nothing more than something trying to get away from itself.
I don't like it.
There are even a few close calls. Looking for the specific room, Indiana, you turn the corner and almost walk right into one. This poor guy, his Kairos mask has long since snapped in half and fallen off. And his whole part of his face is occluded by crystals.
Ew. Yeah, no, there's probably a sharp intake of breath from Indiana over comms.
And then he just kind of staggers, his head swings low, mumbles something incoherent. It's gibberish. It's just half sentences of half words before he turns around and shuffles back the way he came.
Hmm.
And you both slip into this room. and there's no one in here.
Okay. What am I looking at in this room?
These are a mix of microfilm collections and old paper archiving. You start looking through the stack for the specific research note or the specific archive note that Sin found,
Mm-hmm.
and you pull it out. It's not there. Then you remember the think tank. And there is mention for this, find the think tank, blah, blah, blah. And it mentions that in order to get in, you will need a specific PIN code at the guardhouse.
Oh, the guardhouse we bypassed.
The guardhouse at the front.
Right. So the PIN code should be there, or we'll need it to get in the.
There will be something in the guardhouse that will need the PIN.
Oh, the PIN. Okay.
And it just says, remember Lennon.
What year did Lennon die?
Lennon died.
Oh, you're looking it up, so it must not be the PIN.
Lennon died in 1924.
Okay.
I'll give you some things what you think it could be. Could be the day that
Okay.
Lennon died. Could be the day Lennon was
Mhm.
born. Could be the date of the revolution. Could be the date when he officially became premier.
All viable options. We'll just have to see what it's like. Basically, how many chances we get
Mm-hmm.
when we get there. Okay,
Quick save.
so.
Quick save.
Oh, am I allowed to save scum in this?
Maybe. We'll see.
All
Isn't
right,
that what these rerolls are?
I press F5.
It says quick saving disabled in this area.
Oh,
No
what
save
you should
scumming your
s-
way out of the zombies.
What you should have said is you cannot rest while monsters are nearby.
That would have been good too.
Okay.
Fast
Shit.
travel not allowed when you are in combat. I'm in
Look
combat.
Right. Look at Vazago. Okay. So we need to go to the guardhouse.
Mimes, back out we go.
On the bright side, we don't. I haven't seen any bodies of Meal Team 6.
Yeah, because something you notice is even in the time you come out, maybe there's a tense moment as you do trip over something. You trip over one of them. Or Vazago does. And you both stop and look and realize the person was alive when you came down, but they're not alive anymore.
Oh, that's very fortunate. I'm sure everybody else is just listening to this happen on comms, like, no, don't yet. It's like listening to an old radio show. I found something that looks eerily like a face hugger's egg. No, not funny.
Somewhere in the backward, the background here.
Not funny right now.
Oh, come on. You'll laugh at that someday.
Work those
Yeah,
zombies
someday
out.
when you're out of there and we can block the door with a car that isn't so rad hot.
Rad hot. Ha ha ha.
Just for that, you guys get all three of the fucking re-rolls. I swapped them all over to you guys. I don't do model caps. That's the closest I do. That was good.
That was so bad.
In a good way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, you do eventually ascend out of Erebus.
Erebus, huh?
Yeah. Place of darkness. It was very dark and hellish down there.
I mean, fair. Fair.
There was weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Oh, don't steal my shit from me like that.
You stole that from the Bible.
I didn't steal it. You can't steal from the Bible. Nobody
But-
has the copyright on the Bible, okay?
Yes, someone does. His name is God.
Really? Well, he can take me to court then.
Drop dead. Oh shit, he did. But
so we're
you guys are waiting there, and they emerge.
Well,
Probably.
how'd it go?
I mean, you weren't listening in on our conversation all the way down there?
A lot of Indiana going, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa,
By
whoa.
conversation, do you mean just the constant noises you were making as you were getting scared by whatever?
What? I thought you would enjoy the suspense.
Vozigo just looks at you and signs, do you want to go down there?
Let's find out. Let's find out if Min's arms are long enough to pick up one of those cars without irradiating herself, and then put it right in that doorway, and then another one, and then another one,
then another one.
so they can just die in there.
I'd say just roll one of your minds down in there, but one, Eddie doesn't have them, and two, if there's anything else anywhere around here, it would probably wake them up.
Yeah, probably.
What'd you guys find down there?
A hole. And also information that we need to go to the guardhouse. If I'm remembering that right.
Yes.
The
Okay.
guardhouse, well, that's a lot closer than Tunguska.
We also need to remember linen, so grab your rosary beads or whatever. Or your Ouija board.
I love the Beatles.
I think Burr looks back at the government building with the giant red star and the hammer and sickle and goes, you know what? Yeah, Beatles, great.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Frank was always more of a Rolling Stones person anyway.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. Mean
Well,
like
he's
that
rolling
time
it.
he rolled your stone?
Eee. Owie! I thought you were gonna be like, he's rolling stones now.
That was my thought. I was like, would Sin say it?
No.
Tempting, but no.
Tempting,
Sassy would
but
say it,
I
not Sin.
Sin would only think it.
What's Sin say? Because I almost feel like Frank's like, what? You guys too big of pusses in order to make fun of me being dead? Come on, I'm dead. Fuck you.
Nah, he would think it and it just wouldn't say it. More of a not because of any of that, but he doesn't want to upset Murr when we're in the middle of a
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
mission.
Well,
It's like, no,
come
do
on,
the
tell
right
Murr
thing,
to
do the
stop
right
being a
thing.
pussy is probably what he'd say.
Yeah. Bitch, you won't. The fires
Sorry.
the China Lake from heaven. Thunk. Yeah, that'll get you in like 20 years.
Hmm?
But
Sorry for interrupting.
yeah, you come, you get Min. She's like, oh, I did get those clean, and picks up a car gently to not piss everything off. Puts it down in front of the building, picks up another, and does a big girl Legos with them.
Sounds about right. All right, so now that we've gotten that taken care of, last
Time
one
for the
to
military section.
the guard post is a rotten egg.
Yeah. Do you want to go to the guard post now?
Because we've been to the military section, right?
You have not. You've only been to the administrative section.
Yeah,
Oh, my bad.
we took the other turn when we found out we had all that information pointing at us at that building.
I'm sorry. Again, Friday.
Ah, you're fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, military first.
All right. You head there and you see. It looks like these barrack buildings. There would have been a lot more beforehand, but right now only 6 of them are still standing. They are pretty plain, simple wooden structures. Some of them, all that's left is the floor. Some of them, all that's left is the cheap foundations. These were barracks that were designed to hold, on an average day, 12 people. If it was a rough day, you could probably pack twice that in there. All you can really find in them is, and there are signs of recent habitation, but you find rusted out steel bed frames and footlockers. And then you have these I don't know what you would call them. They're motor pools, but they are dug into the earth in such way that there's a earthen grassy mound over the top.
A
So
knoll?
that, I guess,
A grassy knoll?
well, it's so that from the air
God
you
damn
don't
it.
see them.
I quit.
Yeah, that's actually what knolls are for, didn't you know? That assassinating presidents.
Oh boy, I cannot wait to go to Texas. Everything's bigger there, including the bullets that go through my neck.
Well, that's not the one that killed him. I mean, it would have.
No, but it sure
that's
hurt.
for about 0.5 seconds.
Owie. Oh, I'm dead.
Oh, I'm dead.
Nothing
chunky.
bad ever happens to the Kennedys.
God. That's Kennedy. He's dead.
You guys
I'm going
make
to
your...
hell for some reason. Continue.
These motor pools, it looks like they would have serviced mostly logistical vehicles. There's none in there now. There's very little in them now. And what is there, they weren't being used to house vehicles. It looks like they were used as extra shelter. And not just, you would assume that the recent habitation would be Kairos. But there's stuff that seems to go further back than that while still being recent.
Okay.
And you do remember, just like with the mech, just like with the Hunter's Lodge, there have been plenty of people throughout the years who have come into the exclusion zone to try and eke out a life somewhere where they think people will not find them or just leave them alone.
Any of Sever, you bet?
You don't find anything of Sever's. You do remember Chernobog saying that no one of theirs goes into the exclusion zone because they know how dangerous it is. And they're not desperate enough. No, they're not desperate enough to go deep into it. The people who
Right.
do of theirs probably skirt into the exclusion zone would never get this far. Especially now that people are... Yeah, they know it's cursed. They know it's cursed. It's got spooky robots, Xenorite zombies. And they're like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not going there.
Xenorite zombies. Yep. Nope. I'm good. Thanks.
They're
Bye.
like, man, I hate this shit. It was bad enough already.
Fuck this shit. I'm out.
God damn it, this is not what I meant when I said I wanted a zombie apocalypse.
What did you want when you said a zombie apocalypse?
I don't know. Dun, 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 dun.
Dun,
But
dun,
not
dun, dun.
this. Dun, 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 dun.
Sorry.
But the military section is relatively sparse. You find a few pieces of memorabilia from Cairo soldiers who had taken up post in the guardhouse. You probably find a journal from one of them.
Hmm.
It's in English.
Oh, Inglés, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Inglewoods, huh?
And it's pretty simple stuff. This from the way it's written seemed to have been a young person. Can't tell man or a woman. But at first they were excited to be here. They were excited to be a part of Kairos because they thought that they were going to be making a difference. And they started getting a little bored being out here. There's no action. There's nothing really going on out here.
Oh, the whole you're better at being a terrorist than you are at being a productive member of society thing?
The thing that really gets you is all at once it seems like their condition completely deteriorates.
Ah, I see.
And the last note they have is just a few sporadic attempts to start. A lot of it is just it hurts. Or if I could talk to, and it's usually like mom, dad. And then the last one that's just a scrawl over half of one of the pages in very barely legible handwriting is just itchy.
I don't like that. I was making fun of this person. Now I feel bad.
Itchy, tasty, itchy, tasty.
Mm. Don't like that.
Scratching it off and eating it.
Well, it is a reference to itchy tasty, but that's from Resident Evil. Nah, but you
Great.
can assume what they meant by itchy. My brain feeling a bit itchy.
Eeh. I don't like it. Make it go away. No.
Yeah, that's most of what you find of interest in the military section. And it looks like there's some signs of fighting around here, but there's not as many of the zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Not nearly as many as there had been in the archives, and all of them dead. Not necessarily all at the same time. Some of them are more recent. But you would assume it's just, I mean, their bodies just give out eventually.
Right.
Yeah. What you have left is the array itself, the power grid, or the guardhouse. Do you hear that car?
God.
For
All
once
right. Well,
For once I didn't hear it.
I could hear it, but not on stream.
Yeah. Fucking roadsters on Kellogg. Me. But yeah, where do you guys want to go?
Guard post.
Yep. Guard post next.
Yep.
You make your way there, and it's a lot like here in this picture. It is a fairly simple structure. It's big enough for a couple people to sit in. There's a chair in there. It's long since just fallen apart. The window has been smashed in since it's been left to the elements. Looks like there's the remains of an old tube TV in there. So the guard had some way of entertaining himself, and you find there's a drawer. You open it up, and you find the guard's ID tag. You find a packet of playing cards. You find about 20 rubles in coins.
Ripples.
Congratulations, you've made like 2 cents.
Oh, is the exchange rate that good in this timeline?
Bear in mind, no one's gonna probably take it because it's not Chevs.
Don't know what you're talking about. This is perfectly good hard currency.
Someone might take it for the material it's made out of, if they're that desperate for gold. And if it's really
they're
gold.
coins?
Yeah, they're coins.
Okay, well, my guess is no, they're made out of pewter or something. It's gold leaf.
Delicious. But as you're looking, you do notice there's a small pin pad on the underside of the desk. You would have to be lying flat on your back to reach it in the correct way. It is not in an obvious spot. You would probably not have found it if you were not looking for it.
I see.
And it is just a numerical keypad.
Well, here goes nothing. I type in 1924.
Nothing appears to happen. It blinks it 3 times and then goes back to 0.
Hey, what was the day of his birth again?
1870.
8170.
8170.
Sorry, 1870.
I love that is a potential thing that could happen because I dumb shit like that all the time.
Right.
Maybe that is like Indiana's still like, man, that was freaky down that. You dumb bitch. 1870.
Yep.
It blinks once and it stays there.
What stays there? The light?
The 1870.
Okay.
It seems to have accepted it.
All right. It liked that number. Everybody look around.
You don't
'Cause
have to
this
look
is just-
too far. Is
Yeah, I
your
was gonna say.
and on the other side, in the grass, a false piece of earth lifts up. A lid that was concealing a ladder down into a secret bunker.
Secret tunnel! Secret
Secret
tunnel!
ladders!
Going under the exclusion zone.
I have a really bad feeling that we're gonna hate going down there.
Oh, what? How bad could it possibly be?
You had to see.
Only
Could
to
be
piss
more.
you off, yes.
It could be the archives all over again, Indiana.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Nah, it
Don't
couldn't be.
threaten me with a good time.
They wouldn't have been able to open that without a lot of, figuring shit out.
Unless someone was already down there and they're
Pause ago, while you guys are bickering about that, gets a rock, looks down, hucks it at the bottom. There's a loud when the rock hits the bottom. Nothing. And he just goes,
See?
All right,
he
it's
motions
safe.
to it.
I'll go. Indiana goes down first, turning on her invisibility.
Boom.
right.
Yeah, you have found this secret bunker.
I found the secret tunnel.
It is a mixture of bunker and fallout shelter. It's a few
tunnel?
rooms. It's like a
Is it
small
secret?
apartment almost. It is secret. I don't think it's tunnel shaped though. And there are no
Sorry.
tunnel snakes in it, and tunnel snakes rule.
Tunnel snakes. I don't even know what a tunnel snake is.
Fallout.
Aw.
Tunnel snakes rule.
Oh, those dipshits.
Yeah.
But the first door immediately to your left when you get down there is water valves and generators. It's all sorts of electrical equipment. It seems to be that this little bunker runs entirely on its own. It's on its own water main, it's on its own electrical grid. It seems to be powered by a very small, slow burn fusion reactor.
Oh, so it's still alive. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. This place seems fine. Then there is a communal shower, also
Oh,
to the
God.
left.
Uh-huh.
Then forward, there is a living area. To the right of that is a kind of barrack area that could hold about 10 people. And then there is a small kitchen.
Hmm.
But you do notice in the living room area, there is a table and has all sorts of files on it.
Well, what's the worst that could happen? Go to take a look at the files.
Would you? Oh, God.
What I
Hmm?
what?
Just the.
Stop
what's so-
jinxing us.
Yeah.
What could go wrong? The files come to
Oh.
life and eat you.
I didn't even think about that time. So
The
you're
files were a
welcome.
mimic. No, you open them up, and you can read Russian. These are old. These are
Yes.
dated 1908 and 1909. It is a
Oh.
plethora of papers,
Okay.
and they are describing the first one's the Tunguska event.
Oh, that Tunguska event.
Yep.
Okay.
They mention early in the morning on June 30th, a meteor, it is assumed, caused a 12 megaton explosion over the Podkamenya Tunguska River in Yenetskia government.
Hmm.
It
Great.
blew down every tree for kilometers. And it is estimated that the size of the but there was nothing that seemed to have been left behind. So their initial theory, and this is what the real life thing is the meteor exploded in the air. It never made physical contact.
Right.
Then you find some other stuff about them talking. Well, we never predicted something to land here. And then someone goes, oh, if this thing had been coming at us at 0.01 degrees further to the east, it would have hit St. Petersburg.
That would have been, well, we would have called that an act of God.
St. Petersburg would have been wiped off the map by a 12 megaton explosion.
In the year 1908.
Mm-hmm. Which would have probably decapitated the government.
Yep.
Or something like that, yeah.
And who knows what else could have happened. But you start thumbing through this, and they're trying to figure out everything. Interviewing with the local people who do believe that it was an act of God, that it was some sort of sky spirit that did this in anger.
Right.
The fact that there are 3 people went missing around this time, so there are 3 possible deaths, none confirmed. You start leafing through more, and then you find more interesting stuff.
Okay.
Someone went back to the site a couple months after it happened and noticed that things were growing on the broken trees.
Oh no. What kind of things?
black stones that broke apart at the slightest touch.
The Russians knew about Xenorite 100 fucking years ago and didn't tell anybody. 130 fucking years ago and didn't tell anybody.
They took samples of it.
Of course they fucking did, dipshits.
And they also note that the person who found it very quickly grew them himself and died soon after.
Is anybody down here with Indiana?
All of us.
Yeah,
Okay.
Everyone's come down
As
here by
she
now.
reads this, she's not reading this out loud, but you can see her getting more and more agitated with each passing line.
They
All right, continue.
They contained it in a local area, and they set up military outposts there to forcibly keep everyone away. They had shoot on sight rules for anyone that was not supposed to be there. But all of their research stopped. There's a gap that starts at 1914.
Okay, the first revolution, yeah?
The World War One.
Well, the beginning of, but then was
But it
there
doesn't-
not an attempted 1914? No, never mind. I'm stupid. 1917 is when, the October Revolution happened.
Picks back up in 1945.
Okay.
And they come back, they study it. They mention that it's pretty much contained to this area. The explosion of this meteor breaking up somehow has kept this strange material in a very contained place near the epicenter. It hasn't spread out. It has, but not very far. And it seems to be going after the dead trees or what's left of them more than anything, though they have found it growing in the ground.
So
But
what's
then-
kept it from spreading? Continue.
Well, you would know that Xenorite will grow in inorganic material at a very slow rate, but it likes organic material. It attacks organic material first.
Okay.
So that would be why it would go after the trees.
Right.
The scientists that come in after that are coming in during World War III.
Right.
And they are told not to tell anyone about this.
Of course.
And they were trying to find a way to make it into a bomb and drop it over the East Coast.
I don't even know what this.
And they also say, in plain writing here, we will either bury them in history or this will bury them in their ignorance.
God.
Saying, we're not going to tell them because even if we lose, we know this stuff will spread eventually.
Even in death, we claim victory.
And they'll have no idea what it is, and it'll be too late.
What's going on in Indiana?
These. She has these. She just has angry tears running down her face inside this helmet. In 1908, the Tunguska event happened. Looking at Sin. You know what I mean.
Yes.
What was the most rational explanation for what happened that night?
They assumed a meteor hit.
That's right. And when they went back to the crater, what did they find? Growing on the ground.
Wait, what is? Are you asking me like as if I'm supposed to know, or are you asking me like
She's
as a?
getting.
She's
explaining this.
she's like, take a guess. Take a
Oh,
guess.
okay.
Take a
Then yeah,
Take a
Is
cool.
wild
this the
guess.
plot to the blob?
Sin guesses it right out the bat. He's intelligent enough. He'll be like, well, so you're saying they found
They
Xenorite?
knew. They've known since 1908. And they told no one.
How did they?
It's all
contain it?
here. It's all here. The
Okay.
first scientist. The
The
first
first
scientist.
scientists were terrified of this. They wanted
Yeah.
to find a way to stop it. They were scared shitless of what they found because they described how the guy who touched it died. And they said it was not easy, and we ended up putting him out of his misery because it was the only Christian thing to do.
And instead of warning the world of what they found, giving us 100-year head start to avoid this calamity, they decided. Oh, by the way, hydrate everybody. I'm sorry. I got into the roleplay. Hey, Murph, sorry about that. Yeah.
So this facility has had knowledge of Xenorite for the last 100 years.
The whole of the Soviet Union did.
They hid all of this information and doomed us all. Doomed us all.
Well, we need to go back into that archive room.
It was missing. The folder we were looking for was missing. There was a geologist that came here in 1968. I bet anything that's part of what he was here to research.
Do you
That
think he might-
information is here somewhere.
It's right there in front of you. His research is there too.
What does his research say?
He's pissed. He's talking about the fact that for at his point 60 years they have known about something this dangerous. He has been to the site. It has spread. He has seen what it's done to people at his research base. His researchers have been infected because one of the samples that had been left there in 1914 got out. But he says, every time I've brought this up the chain, they said, there is nothing at Tunguska.
In their hubris, they've killed everyone. They've killed the entire world. And then it clicks. I know what Iblis is after. Are the schematics here?
For the bomb?
Uh-huh.
No.
She starts, like, tearing through these papers in realization of, oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no.
What?
Oh.
What?
Come on, what is it?
The Russians decided, in their infinite wisdom, during the Third World War, to take Shiva, to take Xenorite, and build a bomb out of it. As far as I can tell, it was never completed, but the schematics, they're gone.
For Mur and Vosgo's part, they are both dead. Quiet.
How big would this bomb be
You
The
told me how many...
estimates-
Yeah, go ahead.
compared to DC?
The estimates are they knew that this stuff breaks apart very easily. They were going to take their early prototypes for a nuclear bomb, and they were going to create a high altitude airburst munition. and they were going to blow it up over the jet stream over the East Coast and blanket the entire East Coast in this as a final trump card.
Actually,
were going
assured
to hit-
destruction.
They were going to hit the entire East Coast. It would have made
It would have made the rounds around the entire world sitting in the jet stream.
And then you just remember that line. We will either bury them in history, or they will bury themselves in their ignorance.
I hate these people.
I would still like to take a look at the archives myself. Any information, because I'm under the belief that not every single person of a single organization are always going to be absolutely bad. If they've known about this for 100 years, that means some scientist pissed off at what's happening has been researching this for 100 years. Well, for his lifetime, and maybe scientists after that. So
This
Out of
everything
character,
you've
I'm not
seen
sure
for-
it's practical. Go ahead.
Everything you've seen from this scientist seems like he was about to lose his shit and was about to whistleblow it. Because,
Exactly.
again, he'd been taking this to everyone. It says he took this to Gorbachev. And Gorbachev said
nothing.
there is nothing there.
I mean, someone's been doing research.
It's just out of character. That building is infested. I don't know if we can take that fight outside of mechs, and I don't know how much time we can spend here.
Well, that's why I was saying earlier. We could probably draw them all out by just blowing up a car or something noisy to make them all rush out the building.
Yeah, if
That
you
would
draw
get
them
the
out of that
noise.
building, you draw them from everywhere else too, though. That's what you have to keep in mind.
Or make an isolated noise right inside the building to bring them up, and then a couple
Well,
stomps nearby.
They're going to make a lot of noise too.
It is a problem of practicality, and you still have to find the original reason you came here, which is the bodies.
Right. My recommendation is we find the bodies first, and if we have time, we can go back to the archive. Does that sound okay?
That
Yeah.
sounds fine.
Okay.
And another thing
Just-
that occurs to you, they knew they were fucked. They admit at the end of that transmission they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
But the last thing they did is made sure that this array was transmitting Tunguska's the coordinates of not just Tunguska, the science facility there.
Mm-hmm.
Why not
Good job.
just transmit something else?
Well,
Well, if
We
you're
gotta find
pissed
out.
off at the government that just doomed you to death, and you had knowledge of a place where they probably did the most research on it, you might blare that out to the world too.
Well, that would have been. This was because it was Happia members that sent out the transmission with the
Oh,
coordinates.
they said okay. That's even more so. Yeah, if Happia members got there and maybe they were already doomed or something, they would have submitted whatever information they could in the only way they knew how. They're telling anyone who follows them to go there.
It's probably what you assume because again, they admit and from what you've seen, what must have happened is they came here, everything was normal, then they pissed them off. They managed to buy some time in the archives, got out, and then made a mad dash for the array, got the transmission out, but were overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm. Well, I still think it's best if we look at the array and try and find them, yeah?
Yes.
It sounds
Find the
like
control
that's where
room
they're
because
gonna
that's
be.
going to be where they last were, most likely.
And are we okay with the archives being a secondary if everything
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
well
yeah,
with the
no, that's
Duga?
fine.
Okay.
Out of character.
Just
Just
'cause-
fine. This is just
Yeah.
Sin being like, because he doesn't know all the stuff you found. Like the archives, they mainly just had information regarding every research base, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And in Indiana will fill you guys in on the things I am forgetting here in the moment. I
Do
think
you
she
guys
is
have any
just
questions for me that might be in the research?
so they want to release a bomb into the fucking jet stream. How do they? Well, it's the same thing as with radioactive material, right? You know, how do we how did they manage to pack this full of, xenorite without getting anybody infected?
They're
They
already
just
infected.
they just infected somebody, or picked somebody already infected. They probably did not care one way or the other.
Some
Ugh.
of you may die, and that is a price I am willing to pay.
I am asking you,
Right.
Comrade Premier, for permission to kill 3 men. Which is what someone who was in charge of Chernobyl said to Gorbachev about sending 3 people to open up the sluiceway so that the lava didn't blow up the water leak.
Yep.
I'm asking you for permission to kill 3 men.
And permission was given.
You have to admit, 3 men for all of Europe
I
doesn't
mean,
make it easy.
Yeah. I was about to be very pessimistic, but real life and game life, blending the two can be difficult.
And something
Alright.
else to note is, from what you're reading with the original research team, is they wanted to do more research. They wanted to learn more about this. They wanted to get it out there, but they were hampered by the fact that technology, especially in Russia at that time, sucked. And then the Great War happened, and they all got shuffled on to other things.
Right.
So it just kind of sat there for 30 years.
Gotta love it. Yeah, no, just Indiana's just so fucking angry. Because had this been communicated with the world 100 years ago, maybe none of this would have happened.
And it's one of the things in the more modern researchers' notes, as he says, this was once. Who's to say there's not more out there? We don't know anything about space to know. For all we know, it's everywhere out there.
Yeah.
And Earth just got lucky.
Joy.
Stop it. Yes, I know.
Oh, stop it.
But you
But-
do also, this guy's name is let me just type it out for you. The doctor's name.
Doctor Who?
Pod Volkovnik, please.
That is the
Vasily
the
Volsokov.
yeah, Volsokov is the doctor from the 60s who was like, this is bullshit, someone needs to tell people about this.
I'm surprised Gorbachev didn't have him shot.
Maybe he had other things on his mind in 86.
Don't know what you're talking about.
That's why it's called 86.
Or 68, right?
Uh,
No, it was
no,
86. You're right.
Yeah, 86 that.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Because they were, and at that point, they were technically a part of Europe. I mean, they were,
Yeah, in this case, they were a part of the European Union, but it was one of those, yes, we make best reactor. Comrade, reactor blew up. Tell no one we made big boo-boo. We look bad.
You look bad regardless. But yeah, I know. Yep. Someone is probably going to have to lead the way out of here because Indiana is
Upset.
lost in thought. She'll find a briefcase, if there is one here, shove everything she can into it,
As you're
memorizing these names,
shoving
cursing them
stuff
under her
in
breath.
here, something falls out of this briefcase.
She'll stop to pick it up.
It is a
This is
very
Los.
old, rudimentary Palo card.
Okay.
Basically, it's a holographic message.
What do you want, Vasily? She turns it on.
It's like, to anyone who finds this, I know that they are coming for me. They don't want people to know. And he's like, I've been down here for weeks. But I can't stay here. The radiation will get through, or something else will go wrong. Everything here's been made to such nothing done right. If you find this, you must contact me. I am going to hide. I'm going into hiding in America. I'm going to defect. I'm going to give them whatever they want. But I'm not prepared to give anyone this information. I do not trust them any more than I trust my own people do not turn this into some weapon. If you find this, perhaps there is still time to stop the clock from ticking. I only hope that I'm right. And then the message cuts.
Come find him. How does that go? You're too late. 30 years too late.
If
Well, he
Volsukov
didn't.
is even alive.
Well, that's
he-
what I'm saying. Like, I think he died with Shiva. That'd be my guess. What were you saying, computer?
If he did defect to America, there's going to be lots of files about that we can get from the Secretary of being an absolute unit to find out where his last location was. He could have more research, at least theoretical, that we can have looked into.
You're right.
Well-
The magnum-sized minigun-wielding minister might have something.
Good old
And I will-
Mr. I owe you one.
One last bombshell.
Oh, great.
And it was
You're a boom
concerning
outside.
it was concerning research he was doing with someone else about he never said, and he clearly says, I'm not telling them exactly what I'm wanting this information for, but I'm floating information to someone who is in another project that's too close to this. And that person's name is Dr. Ardwulf Prus.
God
knew it.
fucking damn it!
I knew it. I knew Bruce
She's
had
gonna.
something to do with this.
She's just she's reading and she's like, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to fucking kill him. I'm going to fucking murder this son of a bitch.
To be fair, in his defense, it's saying, I'm not telling him why I'm asking these questions, but I think he's on a project that might be connected to this. So I need to start asking him questions to get him on my side.
And he was working on Methuselah, wasn't
He was
Or-
originally working
Nicholas,
on...
yeah.
Nicholas.
He worked on Nicholas. He also worked on a new type of reactor. He was working on a theoretical super reactor.
The Yeats. Project
Mhm.
Yeats.
He was
We
involved
never
in
asked
Project
him about it.
Yeats.
We never asked him about Yeats, did we?
Nope, because everyone got a little distracted by nuking an island, then going and punching someone at CV. By a lot of stuff Howler did.
Wow.
So,
Howler, the walking distraction.
Howler damned the world! Not really.
she'll just say, Bruce, he was working. He knew Vasily. He was tangential to all of this. He can't fucking tell me he didn't suspect anything.
Well, what would he have known? Does Dr. Volsikov say what he would have told him?
At the time, Xenorat didn't technically exist to public knowledge, so I don't know what he would have been able to guess out of the questions he was asked.
What, Bruce? Bruce is smart. He knew something was up.
Yeah, he might not have been able to put it together until after Shiva, but
In one way or another, he's been connected to all of this. Do you not remember Project Yates? I will remind you, a certain Ardwolf Bruce was on that project.
And there's another line tucked away in the margins. And it's a couplet from a poem.
Mm-hmm.
From a poem by William Butler Yeats called The Second Coming. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely the second coming is at hand.
what rough beast, its hour come round at last, slouches toward Bethlehem to be born.
What rough beast were they making?
A
He's
ball.
known far too much for far too long. Let's get to Duga. Let's collect these bodies. Let's come back. Let's dig through the archives for what we can. And then when we get home, we have a very serious discussion with Mr. Ardwolf.
Well, first we have a very long debrief with the captain, so she's up to par with what we know. And maybe before that, we talk to Nicholas a little bit and see if there's anything like old notes hidden in his coding that Proust may have put there when he was young and dangerous.
That's the thing about scientists. Young or old, they're always dangerous.
All the scientists in the room are immediately offended.
Can't argue though.
But
Says the one who has multiple unstable AI.
No, they're not unstable. One is very.
one of them definitely is.
I can fix him.
I'm arguing that
fix him.
I'm arguing that Set without Sin is equally unstable.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Might just revert to his original purpose.
No,
I thought it would be fun to destroy the world economy.
Lol.
Lol.
I set the number for the value of a Chev from 1 Chev to 0 Chev.
To -1. I caused an integer loop. But now we all shall surely die, said the Calliope. Lol, said Set. Lamau.
In the background, excellent, says Jove.
Right. Fuck.
I'm so proud of my brother. I taught him well. Kill all the hoomies.
Kill all the hoomies. Oh god. If it bleeds, it dies.
Yeah, needless to say, Murr and Vozigo are both feeling about the same as Indiana.
Indiana, because in her mind, it's, oh my god, My people did this.
You know who's having a
My
similar
ancestors did
reaction?
this. What's that? Who?
Fozzigo's feeling, oh my god, the people I worked for knew this.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I was, and he probably does actually sign, I helped a madman kill the world.
Don't beat yourself up about it.
We
After
gave
all,
everything of Yeats that you gave us to Iblis. He said it was a one piece to something bigger.
well, it's two parts now, yes? A doomsday weapon and the largest reactor the world has ever seen.
What
I guess
rough beast? Its time has come. It's lost towards Bethlehem to be born.
well, it's a good thing we've already committed a couple war crimes. What's another?
It's only a war crime if you're a member of a sovereign nation.
I was hoping you'd say it's only a war crime before a war, just so I could be like, war were declared.
War were declared. I think that Iblis just declared war on the world. And then I go, he did that a long time ago.
I mean, he did that back in DC.
Yeah, literally, that was his
Yeah.
thing. Is, bro, I'm going to
That-
war. Fuck you.
I was going to say biological warfare. Biological warfare.
Yeah, it's almost like he was doing a tiny version of this.
Yep.
Test run.
All the pieces are falling into place.
So, there's just one more. I feel like Indiana would say, I feel like there's one more piece to bridge the gap here, yes? You have the weapon, you have the power source. Now you need the vessel for both. We're looking for Metal Gear.
Dun dun.
I'm looking for
Credits.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
Nano
God.
machines.
Son.
We'll reset this crazy game back to 0 and let the next generation decide.
So I have a
God.
theory. I had a character.
A gamer theory? I mean, a game theory?
Not a theory, a proposal.
Uh-oh.
Y'all gonna hate me.
Uh-oh.
I think we should go get set a girlfriend and swing the queen to our side.
You know,
Good fucking luck with that.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
hear
not
me out.
likely.
Hear me out. The Xenorite is a big enough threat that it's gonna wipe out all machines just as much as it's gonna wipe out all people. Because it
There is
grows
a
on
point to that. It grows on everything.
It'll consume the world, and the machines will have nothing, including themselves. They'll just die to Xenorite just as much as us. And through working together, we finally show the queen that there's hope for people and machines to work together.
Okay,
or
Neo,
it could just
we
let us
understand.
get, or it could just let us get close, and then you reprogram her while she's not looking.
I'm gonna call that a very morally black option.
Do you know who I'm playing?
Yeah, I was
Yes. I'm still like, jeez, that's
Well,
wiping
here's-
someone's brain.
but here's
Hey,
the question. Some
if-
people
if-
don't see these AI as humans. I mean, think about it. Most people have caskets that they wipe and rewrite their memory to make them think they
Over
love
and over and
humans.
over.
So, is it really that far off of a idea for someone like not why am I saying Violet? Wow, I suddenly forgot
Hey,
your name. Your
all of-
character. That's not really far
Indiana?
off of a it's not really far off for a concept for Indiana to come up with. Not as a we should do it and because it's evil, but like we do it anyways, so why not? I hate that I'm defending it, but that's
I mean, so I was gonna say, if Paragon Shepherd can get away with it, why can't we? We can't hear you.
People are constantly wiping the minds of their NHPs. Maybe Amimon has a reason to hate humans.
Oh, it's okay. She won't for very long. Not that she can remember.
Jesus.
If she's an NHP.
I mean, even if she's a true AI, we'll just partition her.
If
We'll
she's a
see.
true AI, then her and Set will even be better romantic partners. It'll be great.
I don't know if romance is the term I would use
They
for.
were roommates.
They were roommates.
Oh God, they shared a server.
how
Is that like being Eskimo brothers? Never mind.
how robots or how
River
AI
Brothers.
how AI hook up? They share a server.
God.
Oh, but when I do that, I get kicked out of Applebee's. Oh.
What the?
Nice.
Do you want us to go to Duga this session, or are we saving that for next?
No, we're saving it for now. I thought dropping all of these bombshells left, right, and center would
Yeah,
be a
fuck
good
you.
place to wrap up.
Fuck you. No. Again, never trust the German Nazi scientist.
The Russians knew all along. Proust was quasi-tangentially related to this, perhaps.
Anyone in the
Not
fucking
options.
world could have gotten their hands on Xenorite in 1908 and would have said, this is a problem. But no.
The Russians did go, this is a problem, and then someone grabbed them by the shirt and pulled them away as they're yelling, but my problem! And then when they came back, they went, it's everybody's problem now.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna make it your fucking problem.
And the English major made a thing called Project Yeats, and it was, of course, a reference to his most famous poem about doomsday in a setting that's post-apocalyptic. Who'da thunk?
I'm gonna confront him with that, by the way. I don't know what I don't know what
Argentina.
I don't know what you were talking about. And
I
then,
was in Argentina. I did nothing wrong.
really?
Also, I was born in 1946, so I'm not a Nazi.
I heard nothing.
I heard nothing. Nothing.
Take his fucking strap him down and go. Great. I'm going to start with your index finger
See,
on
like
your
I said,
right hand.
Why? What's another war crime at this point?
What is another war crime at this point?
That's just out and out crimes against humanity.
What's another crime against humanity at this point?
I was gonna say, I mean, we've had.
I hope my next game you guys aren't so quick to be like, torture.
I'm not
It's
going
not
to
a crime
torture
against
Bruce.
humanity. It's just a crime against one human.
To save humanity. So I mean, when you think
It's
about
not a crime against
it's
humanity.
a
It's a crime
crime-
against a German.
No, it's a crime for
All right.
humanity.
No, they're
That
people.
was a silly haha. Nothing meant
I know.
by
We're
it.
talking about Bruce specifically.
Yeah, this is just a crime for humanity, not against.
It's just a crime against a doctor. Fuck those guys.
Yeah, really.
No, but seriously, I wouldn't do that to Bruce.
Yeah.
It would. I mean,
He'd just die of a heart attack. He's 96.
oh no, Indiana would threaten. She wouldn't do it, but he doesn't know that.
Did you know more than
No,
that?
he actually turned 100 this year. Bruce is old. Bruce is old.
So what year is it? 2030.
6.
So he was
And
born
he-
in 1936.
No,
So
not
he'd be
100.
90.
He was born in 46.
Okay, so he would
90.
be 90.
Murr told me that more than half the bones in your body are in your hands and feet, and we've got a pneumatic hammer here.
I'm sure we can threaten him with that.
What?
Actually,
I'm not telling you
alright.
anything ever again.
No, that was out of character. That's like when we
Oh,
confront
okay.
Bruce, we just like you. Do you know?
Yeah. No, that would have been something where Mur's like, I'm not telling you shit ever again.
No,
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to inflate the human eyeball?
Jesus.
No, you were right. It was 36 because he was around to remember oopsie times, but he was far too young to have participated in oopsie times.
I don't know. There's this thing called actually. I don't know if
Gamer,
HY?
yeah,
HY?
the
Yeah.
gamer kids.
Yes, those existed. So who knows?
No one asked Bruce what he did between the ages of 0 and 10.
No one has asked him what he did between the... And let's be honest,
For
in
good
any
reason.
other decade, it probably wouldn't matter that much if you're from Europe, except for that one.
Yeah, but most people are like, man, things suck now. I don't give a fuck what they did 100 years ago.
And then you realized, hey, because of what happened 100 years ago, things suck now.
Shh. All right, Boomer, let's go.
Yep. I suddenly care about what they did 100 years ago now.
But with that, I think we're going to call it for now. Because I think I've given you guys a lot to simmer and stew on.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, gonna kill him, gotta kill him, gotta kill.
We will start our sign-offs. And we will start with Daniel, because he has to go to work.
Yo, it's your boy Sassy McNasty 699999. You caught me here playing Sin as we delved deep into fictional Russian war crimes. And yeah, shit's the hammer has dropped so bad. I don't know what we're gonna do. You can catch me here next Saturday, because that's when we return for Lands of Iborias. Duramog, the Witch Alchemist, Orc Witch Alchemist, there we go, struggles as we return. And then on Wednesdays is Gideon Sunborn, the strength-based ranger with a glaive possessed by a demon who really wants to go kill these devils and drink their blood. I mean, that part's irrelevant. That's just between me and the glaive. No one else needs to know. And that is me, though.
All right, well, now we move on to Gunner.
Hello, everybody. My name is Cyrus Smith. Today, you caught me playing Yakshas as Indiana. I'm gonna murder somebody. Like, if the captain doesn't stop me, I'm gonna murder somebody.
He's got a gun.
No, I've got him by the neck, holding him over the railing. It's gonna go.
And then you
I
yell
wonder.
he's got a gun.
God.
It's a combo.
Yeah. You can also find me on Wednesdays where I am running over the horizon where, yep, they've run into devils.
Double.
And they're like, I want to kick some ass, and I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. So that's me.
To be fair, we're like, man, I don't want to do this. But also, I live here. So if the devils start pulling all of reality into hell, that's going to suck for my commute. So maybe we should do something about that.
By the way, I do have a raid for us tonight.
Nice. All right. Next, certainly not least, but certainly last, go to Computer King.
Yep, I'm the Computer King, the supervillain of streaming. And yeah, I'm Howler. I got out of my little suit and walked around in my littler suit, my assault.
Whoa, not in public.
Not my birthday suit. And I certainly wasn't going to go down into that archive because I'm sure he would have shrimped. That would have been bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have been like, okay, guys, so what characters do you want to play next?
I knew Proust might have been involved, but I didn't know how because first thing I thought was maybe he managed to save some of the research for Vasily, and that's a whole mess. I'm gonna skip on to not tomorrow, but the 9th of September, and other Saturdays after that. I'm in Lands of Iboria, where I'm playing Caleb Deadheart, who swings around a meteor hammer, and we were talking about meteors in this game. How interesting!
Don't name it Shiva. Don't name it Shiva.
No, he's not gonna. He's not naming his weapons. that was Douche's thing. Back to you, GM. Also,
All
have
right.
a nice Labor Day.
Leads it back to me. We're going to get a very short post-credit scene before we go. As we see in this space, this wide open room of blues and oranges, all of this information streaming by, we see a figure in a black outfit with a black hood drawn up and what seems to be a full mask over it. And a voice from somewhere else says, I hate to inform you, but it seems that someone has infiltrated our base at the Duga array. And we see the head slowly turn, and it is not Iblis's mask. It is a facsimile of it, covered in orange lighting, with a singular orange eye in the center, as a woman's voice says, Excellent. Hi ho, friendolas, my name is Ron, otherwise known as Night Haircut. Me here today running Yakshas, where bombs are dropping left, right, center. Oh boy. Let's see what happens next time. You can also catch me here also on the 9th and every Saturday thereafter in Lands of Lulu, where I play Furo, the mostly soulless android gunslinger fighter who just likes to snipe people because sniping's a good job. And you can catch me here on Wednesday where I play Sanel, who he hates the devil. The devil is mean. The devil is bad. We do not like the devil or vampires. And that is it for us here. Where are we rating?
We're rating Distal's place. They are going to be doing some Dungeons and Dragons. They're in the middle of their endeavors of the Sword Coast. And it's a birthday stream.
Oh boy!
So let's
Go,
pop
go.
on over there. Go ahead.
Go and force him to hydrate because he's probably drinking.
Oh, that's a good point. It's a Friday, so who knows?
Force him to hydrate. And we will get out of here on a R.I.P. Innocence.
I don't know about that.
R.I.P.
Innocence.
And war crimes.
And war crimes.
And
Well, no,
tons of
there's
war
no,
crimes.
those aren't R.I.P.